change within yourself, it's not going to get better. This might not apply to everybody, but if you feel like you're rock bottom, okay, and you're hoping for a better day, but you literally are doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, that's the definition of insanity. You are provided with a choice every day. You are provided with multiple choices throughout the entire day. Take that choice, make that change. You've identified a problem. You're saying you're rock bottom. Got it. You're there now. There's only one way, and it's up. So change your mindset. Use that choice and go a freaking different direction. Love y'all. Faceman VTT out.
Day 3 of retirement. As an infantryman, I was asked if I could clean the sink. So let's look at this. Definitely some kind of grime on there. And I open up the cabinet. What do I use? Nothing comes to mind. Like my experiences, my skill set. Nothing. Wait a minute. Everyone knows this is how you clean everything. Infantry, retired.
You can just take it.
Would you like a military discount?
Do you offer one?
Honest cap of the day.
Thank you.
CC's Pizza is the county fair of restaurants. You go in there, you look around, you feel a little bit better about yourself, then you realize that you're in there too. Tell me I'm wrong. Well, let's be honest. You know, not everybody's made for this life. It's scary. You know, you gotta jump out of a plane while it's moving. That's not natural. It's high, it's fucking wet outside sometimes, it's snowy, it's hot, it's dry, it's shitty. Who the fuck would want to be airborne? Best job I ever had.
This is the Veteran Trash Talk Hour, hosted by Nick, Dave, and Buddy. Real warriors making fun of other real warriors. Try to not get triggered. This.
What the hell is
Chris,
going
you
on?
keep fucking it up.
Chris. What are you doing, Chris?
What are you doing? We got a Marine on. You're supposed to look better. Well, of course it's fixed. All right. God,
Welcome to episode 127, everybody. Special
Buddy's
guest today
camera's
is Ronnie and Rick from U.S. Patriot Sailing, and today I'm joined by Buddy and Nick. What's
Where
up,
did Buddy
everybody?
go?
I don't know.
Where did Buddy go? Buddy, you're alive.
I had to turn my mic or my camera on and back. What is Chris doing? What is
Nobody knows what Chris is doing. So he can't even talk to us anymore. He has to chat in a thread. We got this new technology. Nobody knows.
Felt
what
like
the
I
hell's
was
going on.
like in the Matrix first, like in it, like actually living in the Matrix for a second. Started seeing stuff in double. It was insane.
Yeah. How's everybody doing today? Good?
Oh,
I mean,
like I said, I'm in Nebraska, man. I didn't know how many days it took to be sick in Nebraska, but 6 works. So
yeah.
You only got a couple more days, Nick. Wednesday,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, Wednesday. You know, at least I'm training all the nasty girls in suicide intervention, so that's at least somewhat worth it, I guess.
That's important. It's important.
Well,
So,
we
go
could
ahead,
be in the
buddy.
middle of the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, that guy. We're gonna get to our guests too here. I mean, that's just
Solid.
badass.
I see.
Solid flex there, guys.
That is
Absolutely,
a solid
it really
flex.
is.
Only slightly more solid than Rick, showing that he's shopping at REI like some kind of pompous outdoorsman.
No sound on Rick's end.
No sound on Rick's end.
I don't
Okay.
know what happened.
We'll have Rick figure it out.
Yeah, Rick, you'll figure it out.
Then we can just talk shit about him until he gets sound. He can't defend himself.
Yeah.
Look at his stupid face.
Yeah, Rick's face is dumb.
Yeah.
Like, look at the size of those ears. I don't,
Yeah,
know,
look at
I don't
that.
think he could. I
Who
don't think he
in
could hear.
1997 called? They want their visor back, Rick. What are you doing?
Yeah. I don't know if he can see your typing, Chris. So I'll text him.
Yeah. Tell him to turn his camera off and back on. It'll work.
Yeah.
That's what I had to do.
Well, yeah, because whatever Chris did in the fucking Matrix screwed everybody up except somebody with a computer. I don't know. Maybe.
Anyhow, we are going to kickstart the dumpster fire with yet another conspiracy. And now we have this awesome program. So Chris actually has a video that he can play. And then we're going to discuss it. I don't know. Maybe it's just my TikTok algorithm because I'm always looking into this crazy shit. But have you guys heard about the fucking apparent UAP that landed in Vegas like a couple weeks ago? Has anybody heard about that?
I just saw something you posted on it. I don't know.
Yeah, I see one head shaking. Yes, yeah. So
do they get to go to the casinos? Is that allowed?
I mean, who knows? Who knows?
Maybe that's why they're there.
They're illegal.
It's kind of crazy because I called my buddy Charlie too, and he's like, "Yeah, bro, everybody's talking about it because he's in Vegas." And then it was on the news, and Chris is going to play this video, and then we're going to discuss it real quick, and we're going to get to the bottom of this because it's some serious business, man. It's pretty intense. So
everybody will be talking about. Thanks for joining us here at 6 o'clock. I'm Denise Valdez.
I'm Brian Loftus. A family says something crashed into their backyard, prompting them to call 911, saying they saw creatures walking around.
Our 8 News Now investigators digging into this for weeks now, and tonight, our David Charnes with the video you will only see on 8 News Now. David?
Right, Denise, sources telling the 8 News Now investigators that several agencies believe something landed or crashed. Whether it was non-humans or not, it certainly scared the people living on this property. Now, before we show you that video, listen to their call for help.
There's like an 8-foot person beside it, and another one's inside, and it has big eyes and looking at us, and it's still there.
Okay, where is this on your property?
In my backyard. I swear to God, this is not a joke. This is actually we're terrified of it.
So there's 2 people or 2 subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes, like I can't explain it, and big mouth. They're shiny eyes, and they're not human. They're 100% they're not human.
Okay. Well, the 8 News Now investigators obtaining video as officers then responded to the call you just heard. You'll see the officers also saw something in the sky that night, but the big question is, what was it, and is it all connected?
Leave her alone.
It's almost midnight on May 1st when a Las Vegas Metro Police officer's body cam catches this, something flashing low in the sky.
911 emergency.
Minutes later,
there's like an 8-foot person beside it, and another one's inside, and it has big eyes and looking at us, and it's still there.
Someone calls 911 reporting 2 large figures in their backyard.
No, I'm still nervous right now.
The 8 News Now investigators obtaining another officer's video as he's sent to the Northwest Valley home.
I have butterflies, bro. Everyone saw a shooting star, then these people say there's aliens in their backyard.
By now, it's more than an hour after that bright light. Officers meeting up with the caller and his family.
What'd you see?
It was like a big creature.
A big creature?
Yeah, like around 10 feet tall.
I'm not going to BS you guys. One of my partners said they saw something fall out of the sky too, so that's why I'm kind of curious. Did you see anything land in your backyard, or?
They see like a big, that's what they say. They see like a big something with light.
What I saw right now, I do believe in it.
Police walk into the backyard to investigate, but Metro blacked out that part of the video because it's considered private property. What's clear? They're taking this call seriously.
Yeah, right. Hey, this might sound like a really dumb question.
This is the most
did you guys see anything fall out of the sky?
Asking others what they saw.
I would normally discount it as nothing. However, seeing as one of my partners said they saw it too, only reason I'm actually investigating it further.
That investigation turning up no concrete answers as of Wednesday. Whatever or whoever fell into that yard, long gone within minutes.
Oh, hey, if those 9-foot beings come back, don't call us, all right? Deal with it yourself. I ain't dealing with that.
So yeah, this is quite weird, Brian was saying as we're watching this story. Now, we've been in contact with the family in that video, and as you heard in that 911 call, they seem very reasonable and honestly quite scared as you heard them in the call. No, they don't seem impaired in any way, and whatever crashed by the time that police got there was gone, but sources say that there's really no dispute. Something was in their yard. Exactly what? We do not know.
I mean, it's so interesting. So, like, the Metro officer sees something, the neighbor sees something. I mean, so what could it be?
Well, we know that there are obviously a lot of military bases around this area. George Knapp covers a lot of that stuff for us on the 80s Now Investigators. We're showing you drone video from above that area. And we know, of course, Creech not far away, Nellis Air Force Base not far. I checked in with them. They say they are not involved at all, and we are waiting to hear from the Pentagon as well.
And you talked to these people. It seemed completely legitimate to you. And do you have any personal thoughts on maybe what it was?
Right. So it seems from talking to our sources that something happened. There was obviously some flash in the sky. A lot of people saw it that night on the night of April 30th, early in the morning on May 1st. Did that exact thing land in their yard? I don't know. But these people said they saw some SUV circling the area. Could this have been some piece of equipment that malfunctioned? Maybe they saw something and then someone came. I can't believe we're talking about this.
Right.
Someone came and
Picked
retrieved it from the backyard in the SUV. We don't know. This all comes as a former high-level intelligence officer, a veteran, was on News Nation talking about how there is a program where the government collects some unidentified objects. So this might be that. We just don't know. We're going to work to find out, though.
And
Brian,
no substances. They were looking with clear eyes.
Oh, much like this
not big
story.
buggy
No
eyes,
substance.
No substance
This is really
whatsoever.
unique.
Zero
Thank you, David.
substance.
All right.
Dave,
Well,
I would
hey,
like to request a refund on about 5 minutes of my life.
5 minutes of our life. Look,
you're welcome, buddy, and you'll get that refund shortly when you get to discuss what your take is. So my take, obviously, I'm a big UAP, UFO buff, and I love that stuff and aliens. I don't know. Let me just point out that there's a couple weird things about this. First of all, a lot of people saw it, right? There was a light, whether it was a meteor. People did see it. Like the police saw it, and then a 911 call came in, because I've looked into this a lot further. 911 call came in like shortly after, and then supposedly alien beings. Like what gets me the most is like the blacked out cameras. Like when you see high-speed chases and cops jumping over backyard fences and shit, that shit's never blacked out for the backyard's privacy or safety. So like something definitely was going on in that backyard. Something, whether, I don't know if there was fucking 2 goddamn 9-foot aliens in there, but I feel like something happened. So I am 80% yes, UFO, 100% like happened. I'm not too sure about the aliens, but why did we black it out? To me, that's the weirdest thing ever. Like that just doesn't make sense. So I'll say 80% yes, UFOs, and then the black vans that apparently appeared, and maybe it was the Men in Black or something, and they immediately confiscated everything. 80% yes, UFO crash. 20% on like definitely maybe aliens, but UFO 100%. Aliens no. I'm a little iffy on the aliens. Maybe it was a chupacabra or something, But Mike, or Ronnie, what's your take?
Mike, who the fuck is Mike?
Yeah, I don't know, Rick.
Yeah,
Ronnie,
Rick.
you're up.
Yeah, right.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I couldn't even like see or hear the clip.
Oh, you were so lucky.
You're so lucky.
No,
Yeah.
I heard a little bit about it on Rogan though, and it's just like, I don't know enough about it to really have a super strong opinion though.
But do you believe in aliens?
Do you
You're
believe
out
in
the ocean all the time?
Yeah.
Do aliens ever come fuck with you?
Yeah, on the boat. That's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah, with the peanut butter.
Yeah, none of it fucked with me personally, but I mean, there's got to be something else out there. There's like a billion other galaxies, man. There's got to be something else out there. It's got to be. There's just it's a numbers game. You look at all the things that are required prerequisites for life, and those have to exist in other galaxies and other parts of the universe.
Fair enough. I was hoping that you're going to tell us you've seen some UFOs or UAPs like fly out of the water and then like fly back into the water.
I have seen one. I saw one thing in Hawaii that I absolutely could not justify what it was, and I guess it had to be military something. But I was like offshore of Oahu, and I saw just a crazy thing. This was a few years ago. I had a buddy with me too, but it had to be military something. I don't know what the fuck it was.
You got more to that story? Are we going to tell?
No, I mean, just like
he can't talk about it. He can't talk about it, buddy.
Something that was just very, very, very unexplained. Like I have seen one thing where I was like, "What the fuck was that?" And it looked like everything that you would imagine an alien was, like a flying saucer kind of thing that like came in, hovered for a minute, and then literally just disappeared.
Fucking took off.
Right off of Oahu. So I mean, there's so much military there. I was like, it's got to be something military that I don't even know about, but.
Good deal. Good take.
Never saw a flying saucer in Hawaii for 3 years. So
Rick over here is shaking his head. I think it's because he's scared.
Man, that's wild. I mean, I definitely believe that. I definitely believe that. One, there's got to be aliens out there. I'll try to get my Captain Kirk on.
Okay. What's your take?
Man, videos are dumb. I don't know. I believe more of Ronnie's story than I do anything that gets reported on, like via TV. Even the video seems iffy. Ronnie's story, those are the ones where I'm like, yep, that's believe. Yeah, I believe that guy. So definitely that happened. Maybe I'm gullible.
Yeah, it's a crazy time we live in.
Gullible.
It's a crazy time we live in. I bring this up all the time because I've been like really fascinated with that whole, UFO, UAP thing for years. And back then you talk about it, everybody call you crazy. But now the news is reporting on it where you're like, maybe it's not accurate because they're
going to drop it like 2025 is the new season. That's when they're going to drop aliens being real. I guarantee it.
Yeah. Project Bluebeam. That's a whole nother discussion. But okay, so you're the news story absolutely bogus. Nothing happened, but you definitely believe Ronnie's story of what he saw in the ocean. Fair take? All right, cool. Buddy, what's your take?
So much. First of all, that was the dumbest news report I've ever seen. That was like, we're totally going to just not say anything that happened, period. If you don't know anything, why are you talking about it? If you don't know something, why are we? Whatever. My other problem with that whole story. First of all, the reason that they blacked out the camera was because there was no crime committed, so they didn't have the right to record somebody's private property.
Have you watched Cops, bro? No.
Yeah, because there's a crime committed.
There's always a crime being suspected and or being committed. That's the difference. Anyway, whatever.
No, I disagree with that.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. They're sovereign citizens. They don't have their driver's license or insurance or nothing either. Whatever. Anyway, that's just a minor part. Second part, I don't know about you guys, but if I look out my back door and there's 9 foot, 10 foot tall beings out there, one of two things is going to happen.
I'm pulling out my camera.
I'm not going to call the police and be like, yeah, man, there's like some 10-foot guys out back. The fear they were talking about in their voice, I didn't hear fear. I heard, like some 10-foot, like an NBA team just pulled up. I don't really know what's going on. A, there would have been shooting and screaming. Or B, I would have tried to go make friends with them and get like some kind of blindside situation going on where like I get one into football, one into basketball. I got to use some like disability act. Like you can't, they're illegal aliens. You leave them alone. They have rights, blah, blah, blah. Free medical care for them. I had it hooked up. Blindside. I have a spare room. I would have made so much money off. They probably got superpowers. You never even know. But that's one of those two things.
Who's still in the chat says check the crotch first before you do it.
We got to do that. We got to do that to humans. We got to do that to humans now.
I don't care. They're probably asexual. They breed by puking. And then there's another NBA star or football star.
No, don't ruin that.
Like I said, that's just money making. Let's see.
Oh, there was one thing with the backyard footage. They don't have that either. And they had cameras in their backyard, but that footage is gone.
Okay. I mean, they could have been making meth back there. You don't know. Maybe they just didn't want it out. Anywho, aliens, 100% believe that they're aliens. This story, on its face, no, I don't even get it. I don't understand. You saw a meteorite, and then somebody else probably saw it, and they're like, let's call and say there's 10-foot people in the back. There's no damage from a crash. There's no, like, everything's in its proper space. Like, we didn't no air dissipated when this aircraft plummeted to Earth? None? Okay. Cool.
Well, that we know of. That we know of.
I don't believe this story. Aliens, yes. This story on the bullshit meter, it's like pegged out. Like
Pegged out.
Yeah.
Would it be the other way? Well, I guess you're reversed. So yeah, to your right. Yep, you're good.
Anyway.
Nick, what's your take?
Yeah, just acknowledging some of the people on the chat saying hi. I think Ed Roller's an alien because first he said he's watching from Portsmouth, Virginia, and then he says from Arkansas. So Ed, you're probably the guy who sees 9-foot people because you don't even know where you are, and I want to smoke what you're smoking. And then we got who stole from Germany, so that's nice. What's up, man? And then the homeless veteran that I had on the fight show yesterday on Friday, he's watching old Kelly Ramirez. I want to dig a little in this a little bit more, and I want to see what the ratings of that news station are. Like, are they are they Ron Burgundy #1, or are they what's his name? Who's the second place guy in that one? But yeah. Who's the tall guy? It's the funny man that is in that movie, but whatever. So are they like 3rd place, 4th place on the evening news, and now they're just going for a stretch? But definitely looked like a meteor. Don't think it was an alien. So I think that these other people had a chance to. Was it ratings week? Was it sweep? I mean, was it important?
Capitalize off that and turn it into a big story? Yeah.
They didn't turn it into any story.
And I'm like, that's what I said. It's not even a story. And then, so maybe I like Buddy, when Buddy talks about it a couple of shows ago where, he could probably beat up an alien, and it's like, I think I could beat up an alien. So
those are the small grays. These were 8 to 10 feet tall.
Yeah, but maybe, maybe they're not very coordinated.
8 to 10 feet, not being able, not used to Earth's gravity. Kick him right in your stupid gelatin knee.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
My bet's on the.
I'm gonna say this is. I'm gonna say this is BS. I'm gonna think. I'm gonna say it's a meteor that went by, and then that these guys just wanted to become like TikTok famous real quick, and say that it was an alien. I'm going with that because, crazy. But,
good.
All right. I can just transition right into the Book of Earl, and it's a short one, thankfully, because we wasted 17 minutes of our life watching whatever that shit was.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
But I do want to say, for those of you watching for the first time, Dave, Buddy, and I all grew up in the 82nd together. Buddy was like a grandpa when we got there, and then Rick was one of our bastard children that we inherited later on. He came in a little late, so it's good to see Rick again and have him on the show. And he's actually how we got our guest, but. The Book of Earl, this comes in from, this is one of the beatitudes, all right, of the Book of Earl, and how you're supposed to act as a human being. And let me lay the ground frame real here. There's certain people that should never reproduce. All right, they should not be allowed to. You should like get a license, or like just like a driver's license. Like it should get revoked. And I'm talking to you, all right. You, the person that walks their dog and their dog takes a shit on the sidewalk and you don't pick it up. Okay? You are the downfall of society. Okay? You are the reason why the greatest country ever started by man, and I don't care if you're a socialist because you suck, but no, America's the greatest government ever formed by man, and it's going to fall because of people who don't pick up their dog shit. Now, I want you to look at it this way. Like I walk a dog. And when it shits in the sidewalk, I don't want to pick it up.
Buddy will kick your dog if he sees it.
Right. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. It's not something I want to do. Okay. But it's something I
always feel like my dog is also judging me when I'm picking up his shit, and he's looking at me like, "Yeah, pick my shit up."
Yeah.
Jet's paying attention right now. Jet's
paying attention. Because it doesn't. It's not something I want to do. I don't want to pick up shit, but I decided to have a dog. Okay, the dog can't control itself, right? It's walking, it's having a good time. Like, here we go.
It's not the owner's fault.
Yeah, it's 100% the owner's fault. And did I talk about on the show with the dog? The lady's dog pissed on my daughter's school bag. Did I say that on the show? I forget. But then you got a lady who's her dog pisses on my daughter's school bag before she gets on the bus, and she goes sorry, and then walks away. No. It's not sorry. It's It's hey, can I clean that for you? Or 2, how much does that cost? I'll just buy you another one.
Yep.
Okay, because that's
the
what you're
American
supposed
way.
to say. That's the human way.
And it would be okay after that. Like shit happens, mistake happen, you know.
So now I have a rivalry with this 80-year-old woman in my neighborhood, right? And I'm walking around, and I saw her the other day, and her dog started barking at me. So the big girl. I go, "What's the matter? No bags to pee on today?" And because now we don't like it. But here's where it comes to the book of Ruth. Thou shalt do the right thing to not destroy someone else's day. All right. So when you don't pick up that shit, it might seem harmless. Like, you know what? Hey, it's going to get old. Flies are going to eat it. It's going to go away, And let's just say you got somebody who's having they're having a real bad day. Maybe someone or maybe even a real good day. It could be on any spectrum. Like they could be having the best day of their life. And they're looking up in the sky because they're looking for Dave's fucking aliens or whatever. Like, they're looking up and they're like, oh, what a beautiful morning. This is just so great. And oh, look what you just stepped in. All right. Now their whole fucking day is ruined. Okay. You got to be a resilient motherfucker to not be so pissed when you step in shit. You have to be like the Dalai Lama, not the one that touches kids, but the ones before that where they were cool, right? Like you got to be the Dalai Lama if you're able to get over that, right? I mean, when I step in, hey, you got it now. You got.
Are we still on air?
I think we are. So, but you gotta. I mean, I step in shit in my backyard where I know I have a dog while I'm actually looking for shit, and it still makes me mad, And like I'm actually looking for it, And it's like that's just whatever. Like you should be allowed to breed. It's just like people who drive in the left lane and don't pass anybody and have you're not allowed to have kids. Like take it.
Bobby Lee says throat punch an 80-year-old. Yo.
Yeah, I mean, if it was a guy, maybe, but I'm not hitting a woman, Bobby. All right. But I did tell my daughters if that dog ever comes near your school bag again, you kick the shit out of it. All right. So
yeah. What type of dog is it?
They're just little shithead dogs. The dogs that you shouldn't be allowed to have either. Like those.
Okay. Just making sure you're not telling your daughter like kick a pit bull or something.
Well, yeah, that'd be bad. I mean, she'll learn though.
Or a larger dog.
So I was gonna introduce the guest, but he might have fell in the water. Not sure where he went. But hey,
sure.
Can you hear me? I can hear you.
He's probably trying to download the news story that Dave pulled up again to just make sure he didn't miss something.
I don't know what's wrong with my video feed here. Is there any way to you want me to try to restart this for a second?
We can hear you.
We can hear you good. Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Well,
he's on what's called the Starlink, and we actually and then we're gonna put up some pictures of him. That way we can just see his face. That's our guest. That's Ronnie. Okay.
Shout out to Elon Musk on Starlink. Yeah.
Yeah, and Ronnie, he sails around the world, and he's gonna do a race, and he's a Marine veteran, and he is personally responsible for the fall of Fallujah, and then the 82nd. The 82nd had to come bail him out again, and then he got so mad at the Marines that he decided to swap over and be a sailor, and that's what he's doing now. Actually, 90% of that's bullshit, but he does work with an awesome nonprofit that takes veterans sailing around the world or sailing wherever the hell they are, and they're all over where there's ocean, I guess. And Rick is how I got introduced to Ronnie because my wife's like, "Hey, did you know Rick's working for a nonprofit?" I was like, "No way." And because Rick's, not the smartest guy in the world. And so I was like, how come he hasn't reached out for us to promote him? But yeah, Rick, Ronnie, welcome to the Trash Talk Hour. Tell us what you guys got going on.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. Happy to be here. Yeah, you kind of summed it up a little bit, but to give the more accurate version, it's actually based on facts. So U.S. Patriot Sailing, really cool nonprofit. Basically, they do a lot of stuff centered around sort of veterans therapy and, retreats and all that kind of stuff centered around sailboat racing. And so I've been affiliated with them for a while, and I think Rick's out there in Seattle with those guys, but they do stuff all over the country, getting veterans out of sailboats and racing, and you get, camaraderie, you get mission achievement, you get operational risk management, you get a command, everybody's got a role, everybody's got a place on the boat. And so, really cool nonprofit. And I'm teed up with that nonprofit. And as you said, I'm getting ready to race a sailboat around the world. So there's this really cool 50-foot round the world racing sailboat that I was fortunate enough to acquire. And we had it donated to US Patriot. And I'm actually out here training as we speak, getting ready for my race in October in Spain.
That's awesome. Hey, why don't you try to restart your Starlink, and then maybe Rick can talk a little bit more about US Patriot Sailing before you get into your race and your marine stuff.
Well, how about, would it be better if I just try to leave?
That's what I mean. Yeah. Get leave and then come back, and then Rick will fill your airspace for a little bit. And this was
I'll do my best.
This was the course of action in the event that your Starlink went down.
Yeah. So I got linked up with US Patriot
Shut
Sailing.
that damn dog up.
What was that?
So shut that damn dog up.
Yeah. Because I had gotten into sailing out here in Seattle after having.
Well, now we lost Rick. Wow. Well, maybe this is why we need to donate to US.
This is why we don't have like Marines on that often either.
Exactly. They can't figure anything out. So he's
It's
still
not that
talking.
Marine, it's the other Marine.
Rick's still talking.
I think I'm back now, though.
You are, brother. You are.
Rick's talking, and we can't
We're
hear
just
him.
trying to take turns. Eventually, we'll get something productive out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now Rick is gonna go off and come back on, and we won't be able to hear Ronnie anymore.
And I'll just put it off again.
No, you're good, Ronnie. Ronnie, we got you.
Ronnie, you're good, brother.
Ronnie,
Yeah,
how long have you been a sailing racist?
I wouldn't call myself a sailing racist, but I do race sailboats.
Well, one who races.
What? But you're a sailing racist.
I'm
not
not
a racist.
Is
that not
at all, dude?
the way they use
No. Like you race.
Yeah, I race sailboats.
Okay. Yeah, we weren't calling you a racist.
No, not like that. Like a person who races.
Yes, I race sailboats. That is correct.
A sailing racer.
Yeah.
Racer,
Let's use that term.
Buddy's a dumb army guy.
So I've been doing that for about 15 years, man. I got injured in Fallujah back over in 2004. I got retired from the Marines in 2006, and I think I was in a situation that probably a lot of us can relate to. I was in my early 20s, transitioning back into society, and I was doing a lot of dumb shit, man. I was riding motorcycles way too fast, and I was living a very dangerous lifestyle, and I realized I wasn't fulfilled. And so I quit what I was doing in Texas, which is where I got retired out of the Marines, and I moved out to California, and I started sailing. And I did, that's about 15 years ago. And I started sailing, and I eventually did it for my career. You know, I started working in the sailing industry and sailing full time, and eventually started sailing professionally. And I've always wanted to race around the world, and finally got my opportunity. And so here we are, getting ready for that.
That's awesome. So what was your job in the Corps?
I was an 0351 infantry assaultman, and I got cross-trained as an 0331 infantry machine gunner. And I was on a 50 cal machine gun in Fallujah on a Humvee when I got hit.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. So
Nick can literally, no pun
exactly
intended.
on a 50 cal.
How long is a race around the world, Ronnie? Is that like a month, a 2-month job?
No, it's 26,000 miles, but by the time you actually sail the course, you'll probably sail 29 or 30,000. And it should take me about 130 days, maybe 150 days. And so it is.
At what point are you the furthest away from land? Obviously, like for anybody that's watching, because a lot of times you're skirting along a coast or whatever of something, but like, probably in the Atlantic, somewhere in the middle. Like, what's the furthest point away from land that you'll be when you're sailing?
They call it like Point Nemo or something, but basically it's in between Tahiti and Cape Horn. Because when you race around the world on this race, you start in Europe, you go down the Atlantic, and then you basically just go.
Yep.
You go around Antarctica, so you go around the 3 capes, and when you're in between, once you're past New Zealand and headed towards Cape Horn, you end up getting out to this spot where you're like 3,000 or 4,000 miles from land in any direction.
Damn. Yeah.
Right now, I'm only about 150 miles away from Bermuda, so I just left the East Coast a few days ago.
Oh shit! You about to disappear, aren't you?
Yeah, man. I'm waiting for my compass and my instruments to go all spazzy.
Yeah, so I don't know. Did we get Rick's audio back?
I think
Yeah,
so.
you guys hear me now?
Oh, dude, you went on when Ronnie went off, you went on a huge tangent that nobody could hear. Like it was, it was fantastic. Whatever you said, nobody got it.
Awesome.
Yeah, Ronnie, talk a little bit more about the U.S. Patriot sailing again, and like how do people get to it, and how many do you know about the ins and outs? Like how many veterans do you take out? Is it like a
waiting list? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, there's a number of different veteran sailing related nonprofits out there, and all of them are a little bit different. And one reason I'm so aligned with US Patriot is they really focus on sailboat racing, and they do other stuff as well, but they really do focus on sailboat racing. And like I said, there's so many parallels between military service and racing on a sailboat. It's sort of that like embrace the suck mentality. You go out there and you're in super shitty conditions. You're cold, you're wet, you're hungry, you're basically eating MREs, and but you got to kind of embrace that. That's what you do, and you actually find joy, you find therapy in that. But you're also with your brothers and your sisters, and again, there's that goal, like a big race, and then you'll work up to that, and you get a lot of a feeling of accomplishment when you achieve that. And or if you don't, you want to go back to the drawing board and come back stronger and do it again. And so there's a lot of, I think, parallels between military service and like offshore racing or inshore racing. But yeah, US Patriot, again, they focus on like more racing. So they've got a handful of racing sailboats in Maryland and San Diego, and I think they got something going in Seattle with Rick, and they're kind of around the country, but pretty much based in Maryland. And really, really cool nonprofit. And with this particular campaign, I've been wanting to race around the world for a very long time. I got that opportunity last year, and this boat found me, not the other way around. And when this whole thing came together, I was like, hey, I want to team up with US Patriot Sailing so I can make some kind of difference and actually promote a cause I believe in, and also be able to raise 501c3 charitable dollars. And then in the end, it just made most sense to actually have the boat donated to US Patriot. So now US Patriot actually owns this 50-foot race boat that I'm out here sailing.
Oh, very cool.
And so, like, when I get back from my race, we're going to have one of the fastest whips on the East Coast, so we can take on some big East Coast races. And, and probably go make some noise, But US Patriot's a really, really cool nonprofit. They got a number of boats, and they do some pretty big regattas, and they really create some awesome experiences for veterans that really need that. And it's been a really cool nonprofit to be a part of. And as someone who came back from Iraq and went through this very difficult period in my life, I can really, I credit sailing with saving my life. When I started sailing, it totally turned my life around, and I've had a very rich and rewarding life ever since then. And
did you have any sailing experience before that?
No, absolutely not. Yeah.
Awesome. So that's a good message out there to the people watching.
100%.
It's like, when something what happens to Ronnie or to most of us, who have, been in some serious combat and or have suffered from PTSD from multiple other things that happen in your life, you got to get out there and try something new.
Find a hobby, find something to,
And there's so much out there. There's so much to just getting out in nature. You know what I mean? And whether it's some type of whatever that is, whether it's exercise, which can be in a gym or it can be outdoors, but getting out and doing something is just so critical. Whether it's some type of sport, some type of team, sailing, nature, etc.
Yeah, and like you said, if you don't like it, then go try something else. But you got to get out of your comfort zone and go try something new.
And real quick.
Yeah, so the way for veterans to get involved is for them to sign up on through uspatriotsailing.org, and that's where they're running the teams, where they're able to sign up for the events with all the details of okay, where to be, what to bring, pretty much nothing, because US Patriot Sailing provides all of the PFDs and offshore sailing gear, provides the boat. I got certified as a sailing instructor. If a veteran really picks it up and they love it, we can pay for them to get certified as an instructor. Then now they can charge money once they have enough days at sea to become a captain's license. And now they've got a job and or helping. Then they can take out a crew, and I don't have to be the one on the boat all the time. So there's definitely like room for a veteran to run with it if they like me and Ronnie.
Yeah, can you talk about real quick where the chapters are? Because we got Bobby in the chat. He's super interested already. He's in South Carolina.
Yeah.
I know you guys mentioned the chapter in several states, but do you guys have a chapter specifically in South Carolina, or does he just do what you just explained and go on the website?
Yeah, I'm trying to start one up now in Seattle. We did get someone to donate a boat, but this frickin' Yahoo lost the title, so.
He was a raging gambler, lost it in a poker game.
Yeah, probably. And now I'm holding on to someone else's property. And so if someone wants to donate a boat,
on that
that'd be sick,
that note, though, U.S. Patriots does a lot of really cool stuff in a lot of really cool places, but we don't have anything specifically in Charleston. But what I will say is that there is a big military-friendly sailing community in Charleston. And there are some other opportunities for that veteran if he wants to do just a little bit of research. They just had a big military salute regatta like a week ago. There are a ton of opportunities. And I think that really that goes for anywhere in the country and not just U.S. Patriot, not just with, there's stuff out there everywhere if you want to seek it out. And sailing is it's a really cool and oftentimes overlooked sport that a lot of vets are doing and a lot of civilians too. But there's definitely opportunities in Charleston if you look for them.
Hey, and then
good point, Ronnie.
And so Ronnie, in that, I'm trying to think about ways that maybe we can help raise some money for during your efforts on this race. Are you on the water for the entire time, or do you dock at certain stages?
So the race I'm doing is called the Global Solo Challenge. It's a new race. My start is on October 28th over in Spain. And it's a single-handed race around the world without stopping. You are allowed to stop if you have to stuff. The clock keeps on ticking and your competitors will keep on sailing. I'm going to be on the water for like 130 to 150 days straight. And right now, I'm doing my 2,000-mile qualifier. There's a rule that says you got to go do a 2,000-mile qualifying sail before June 30th. So I'm knocking that out right now. And then we'll be up in Maine and doing a bunch of work to the boat, and then over to Spain in like August. So
are you doing this by yourself, or do you have anybody with you?
Solo. Like Han Solo. By yourself.
Uno. But I got the support of all you knuckleheads back home, right?
Each. Yeah. So.
And then, is there any way for people that are watching to track it? Obviously,
well, that's what I was getting at. So are you gonna GoPro it, and then are you gonna upload? Like, can you upload that stuff to us or send it an email to me, and then I can be like, hey, this is what we got. Ronnie, he's currently here. This
would be so much fun to track. Yeah, man.
So during the race, like I said, again, the race starts this fall. So during the race, there's going to be a lot of stuff, a lot of ways you can track it. You'll be able to track it on an app on your phone even. It'll be super easy. So you can learn more about that at globalsolochallenge.com. But then I have a website, which is ronniesimpsonracing.com, RONNIESIMPSON racing.com. And if you go there, you can get all the information. But honestly, the best way is Instagram, Captain Ron _official. And with my Starlink and everything, I'm like constantly providing content from out here on the ocean, and I've got a number of sponsors and corporate sponsors and sailing related sponsors and all this. So I got to try to create content and keep those guys happy as well. But yeah, there's a million ways to follow if you go to Instagram, website, etc.
Yeah, we'd love to talk a little bit more after a show about this, because like Nick just mentioned, it'd be awesome to post some videos and stuff and just real live stuff that you're witnessing out there. And yeah, that's dope, man. I love it.
That's freaking awesome.
I mean, you guys are all view around right now. You can see her.
Well, another big flex.
Yeah.
You seen a lot of sharks out there, or you run into, depending on where you're at. Yeah, whales. Well, they're. I saw it on Joe Rogan. There's an area where whales are actually taking down boats now.
Yeah. And you know what the shitty part is? That is happening literally where my race starts and ends.
Yeah.
Like literally, orcas are literally attacking boats. Like it's only in one specific. I saw that and I'm like, and I googled it and researched it a little bit, and it's like literally they're like training each other to take down fucking boats, which they usually don't do because they're usually friendly as fuck.
Probably Russian orcas.
They started doing it a few years ago.
Russian trained orcas trying to fuck with our boy.
Yeah. So I have a couple questions, Ronnie. What's the longest race you've done to date?
The longest race I've done is I've raced to Hawaii 6 times, which is over 2,000 miles. And I've done several yacht deliveries that were not races, but just relocating a boat. And those were 2,000 or 3,000 miles. But I've never sailed around the world. But I have sailed between Hawaii and the mainland of the U.S. 19 times. So I've done a lot out in the ocean. I've been between Hawaii and Fiji 4 times. I've done racing in Australia and New Zealand and all over the place. But this will be my first round the world race.
And you were just a basic infantry guy in the Marines 20 years ago.
A dumb.
How hard can the Navy be if 2 infantry dudes can do
Exactly. That's a very good point, man.
Ronnie, I have another question. Do we need to go to the patriot.org to give money to get Rick the rest of his hat, like the top part? Is there a GoFundMe or is it just?
I'm a visor guy.
I think he's making a fashion statement, but
it's a bad statement. It's a horrible statement.
You can get some trips. You go to uspatriotsailing.org, and if you hit donate, you can select Team San Diego, Team Seattle, Team Maryland, my campaign, etc. of where you want it to go.
Yeah, I specifically want him to get a full hat.
Put that
There's
in
too much freedom. His hair has too
much.
much freedom on top.
Yeah.
I'm trying. Hold on. Okay, I'm trying to hold on. I'm trying to express what hair I still have.
Now, wow.
Oh, damn.
That's why he stopped.
What the fuck just happened?
Hey,
hair off the top.
You'd think with that you would definitely cover that from the sun.
Oh my God.
Shit.
I'm just trying to let it breathe, man.
Yeah. Hey, Rick, I am curious. I am curious because you went on that rant and you seemed super motivated. Like, can you give us maybe half of it? Like, what were you saying?
Yeah. Oh, I was saying how I came across the sailing here. I had to move out here to follow my kid and then bought a boat, taught myself how to sail. And then once I was able to leave the dock and come back solo, the bare minimum Ronnie does every day, I was super pumped to try and get everyone else I could, a veteran, to feel that. And there was a moment I almost had to live on my house, or I almost had to live in the boat for a bit. I didn't have to, but that was nice to know that, okay, hey, I got this boat, and if I wanted to, I could piss off into the sunset.
Literally.
Super. Yeah. Literally. Yeah.
But awesome.
That's awesome, man. That's fun shit right here. Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, that was the motivation for trying to do I was going to do a 501c3 myself and try and reinvent the wheel, but then found U.S. Patriot Sailing on a YouTube rabbit hole.
I started
and reached out, and it was money.
I started sailing nonprofit 7 years ago in San Francisco, and it was so much work and it was so expensive. And it was
it's so hard.
And it was just why am I trying to reinvent the wheel? And then I had kind of done a couple things with a couple different nonprofits, but Peter at US Patriot, great guy. And I just aligned with those guys. And I'm I'm just going to team up with you guys because having your own nonprofit is insane. Because if the goal is helping,
hard.
If the goal is helping veterans, you want to alleviate yourself of all this bureaucratic nonsense and just join forces with somebody else.
Yeah, good segue into what we do here at Veteran Trash Talk with the Veteran Trash Talk Hour is, we understand how hard it is to run a business because we are a for-profit one. And we have, talked about a bunch of times that, nonprofits still have to make money, right? It's just a different class. So all you morons out there, they're like, I can't believe they're taking all the money. They got to make the money. They still got to pay people. They got to have boats, people got to eat and shit, so it's okay to, to make some money as a nonprofit. Obviously we're not talking about the ones that are, immoral and criminal, but it's okay. It's okay to give money to a nonprofit that actually goes to feeding somebody who's running the nonprofit. That's fine. They want to go to sleep in a house as well, not just a boat like Rick. But no, we like to promote veteran nonprofits because they're hard to run. They're hard to do. So any extra promotion that we can do, and the best thing that we can do online is what? Like and share.
Yep.
Right? Like and share. If it's a veteran-owned business, share it. Okay. And I'm going to give a big shout out to one of our previous guests just recently is Hirsch. And she does that every week. She puts together, here's the veteran pages that I follow, and she shares it out. So if you don't follow the Hirsch shit show, it's really funny, and she's really funny.
It is. Yeah.
And she does that. She does that for us. She puts us on there. She puts every page she follows. So yeah, that's great, Ronnie, that you got that going on. And Rick, it's always good to see you. Oh man, Rick and I got some stories, man. Whew. Boy,
Hey, Ronnie, I got another question.
It took me a sec to actually realize which Rick this is.
Ah.
Are you kidding me? Anyway, hey,
Yeah.
Ronnie, I got a question.
I'm not.
Hey, what is a day in the life of around the world? I mean, I got it. Like Rick was talking about, leaving dock, coming in dock. That's going to be a little bit different. But like, what does a day look like if you're sailing by yourself? Like, say 100 days in, are you sleeping like 10 hours and then getting up and like checking some instruments and going back and chilling out, watching some Netflix? Like,
Yeah, like who are you talking to? You're by yourself, like.
Yeah, what's the day like?
Mine too, man. Your mind, yeah.
Until literally last year with Space or Starlink, it was a lot different out here. It's kind of a game changer to have this kind of connectivity out here. But for the most part, you're just always sailing the boat, and you're always just trying to keep your boat speed up, just keep the boat going in the right direction. So you've got to be following the weather super closely. And, in sailing, you can't really emphasize how important good weather is. So having said that, if you can navigate properly and find the good weather and go the right way, that's super critical. So you spend a lot of time looking at weather and making decisions. But you spend a lot of time just adjusting sails. If it gets windier, you put up less sail, smaller sails. If it gets more like light wind, you put up bigger sails, more sails. And if the wind is behind you, you put up different sails versus if the wind is in front of you. And so you're constantly just trying to handle the boat and just keep the boat moving. And there's going to always be some kind of like running repairs. There's always something that needs to go on. I mean, even right now, I've got to go mess with something. I just figured out I got to go mess with something as soon as this is over. And it's just constant.
Don't die.
Don't die. It's just constant. So you really gotta love it. And obviously, you do some sleeping, but you sleep in segments and you sleep when you can, because sometimes you don't really have that luxury. Right now we're in between two weather systems. It was blowing from the northwest for the last couple days, but now it's switched around and it's going to be going from the southeast. So the wind died in between. So we just got out of the no end, and we're just starting to get into this light headwinds right now. And so,
do you have anything on the boat? Like if like there's an emergency, like say the wind dies for like a little while, is there like an auxiliary motor, or like you pull out, you push a button, and like some foot pedals come out, and you just like paddle?
No, you've got a
diesel rolling, buddy. He's rolling.
Yeah. You've got a diesel motor, but you're not allowed to use it during a race.
Yeah.
So you can use it for emergencies, like if you dismast, like if your mast comes down and you got a motor into South Africa or something, you can use your motor obviously for that because you're retiring from the race at that point. And you can use your motor to spin an alternator to charge the batteries, but you're not allowed to like put the motor in gear and actually motor during a race. But yeah, the boat has a little 3-cylinder diesel engine. It's basically a little tractor motor, man. It's a little 20 horsepower diesel motor, 3-cylinder, real simple, real reliable.
Yeah. Are you avoiding any like pirate areas, like around Somalia and stuff?
Yeah, we're not going anywhere near pirates, man. People always ask that. Like, I mean,
it's a legit question because what's his name?
No, it's a really legit question. Most piracy is somewhat localized, and it's usually closer to shore for the most part, and in the Red Sea, and we're not really going that way.
What's Ronnie? What's your?
I'm more worried about those fucking orcas than I am.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite letter, Ronnie?
Favorite letter?
Letter of the alphabet.
Ooh.
Fucking dad joke.
Is it the R or is it the C?
Almighty.
Buddy's like, there will be a time where I can use this joke. I know there will be a time where I can use this joke.
You just made Buddy's day. Like he's happy for the rest of the day.
You might have made his next 6 months.
Ronnie, do you go swimming at all when you're out there, or do you just say fuck that? I'm not.
I mean, very, very rarely. Very, very rarely. I mean, it's almost like the number one thing is just try not to leave the boat when you
probably not do that, right? Yeah.
So it's tempting to jump in sometimes, but when you're by yourself, man, the less you can leave the boat, the better.
Yeah. Obviously, you're leaving out of Spain, but have you ever docked and sailed out of Europe before?
Yeah. Husto's asking in the chat, what's your wildest story if you've ever docked somewhere in Europe?
Ooh, I've done some sailing in Europe. Not a ton. I've done most of my sailings in the Pacific. I've been based in California and Hawaii for the last 15 years. So I've done most of my sailing out there. Wildest stories. So my very first boat I had, I ended up losing the boat at sea, and I ended up on a freight ship, and I ended up in China, and then I bought a bicycle. And
What?
around the world.
You need to elaborate a little bit more on that, man.
You bought a bicycle and did what?
So this has been written about quite a bit, but my very first boat back in 2008, I was sailing, again, by myself. I don't know why. I had other people that wanted to go, but I went solo to Hawaii, and I didn't make it. I got into some really bad weather, broke some major stuff on the boat, and I ended up kind of pulling the ripcord. And I ended up getting onto a freight ship and losing my boat, and I ended up in China. And,
holy shit!
Yeah, and then I bought a bicycle, and I spent 7 months riding 10,000 miles through 21 countries. Finally made it home, and I've been sailing full time ever since then. That was back in 2008, 2009.
So you wrecked your boat, ended up in communist China. And we're like,
rode through multiple countries over there on a bike.
No, I'm just gonna pedal my way to freedom.
Pretty much.
That's fucking
Pretty much.
awesome.
I wasn't done traveling yet. I didn't want to go straight home.
Yeah. So maybe you could handle stepping in dog shit, but
I still don't like dog shit, man.
See, it still pisses Ronnie off. So
I still don't like dog shit.
Well, hey, let's spin off to the AAR here so that Ronnie can go fix his boat so he doesn't end up in friggin' China again.
Yeah,
so,
right.
buddy, that's on you.
There's so much to cover.
There is. This is fun.
We're gonna start off with Dave's the dumbest story. That's the dumbest news story I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen anything.
To be fair, Chris actually pulled that video, and it wasn't even my idea.
He's talking about the story itself.
I was disappointed in the news story that it wasn't in Alabama or like here in Tennessee or something, because then at least it would have been entertaining. Because when they got there, they'd have walked out of their trailer and been like, "No, ma'am, there it was.
There was the damn it."
I swear to God, man, I saw this
Holy
thing.
shit.
It was
I
about
was
10 feet tall.
I'll tell you what, I walked up to him, I'll hand him a Bush Light. He said, "I don't drink this shit. Give me a cooler." I was like, "Hell, you ain't an alien to me, dog. You family." Anyway, that's all that I didn't enjoy about. Well, I didn't enjoy the story, but it could have been a lot better in a lot of different ways. And we don't know what happened in Vegas because nobody, not even the guy standing there, knew what happened in Vegas. So of course we have no idea.
Vegas? It's like a black hole of like what happened.
Yeah. And if it didn't happen on Fremont Street, it didn't happen anyway. Let's see. We found out that I didn't even know the Dalai Lama touched children. I had no clue. That was
God. Yeah, you need to watch.
That was strictly a Catholic deal, but
no, that legitimately happened. Not so.
Watch out.
Yeah.
Don't get in with that. And then we got Ronnie and Rick on. Rick O'Melly Mel, one of the dudes from the 82nd. He knows how to take his boat from the dock and put it back on the dock. Apparently,
By myself.
The limit of his solo skill set. While we have Ronnie, who's sailing around the whole fucking globe, which is going to be weird for you because apparently it's also flat. Watch out for that end part.
Oh yeah. We didn't ask him about Antarctica, man.
Yeah, that last step's a doozy, Ronnie.
Yeah, the ice wall.
The ice wall. In an ice wall. It's what people tell me. Anyway, but you can donate to patriot.org and or patriotsailing.org and get Rick the top of his hat so he doesn't get sunburnt on
He's
his
a hair sponsor.
on his
Somebody that
hair.
can grow
His
back
hair
hair. Stuff.
doesn't
One of
get
those sponsors.
sunburnt. That's what we want. But you can also follow Rick as he sails by himself around the entire Earth, which is
You mean
insane.
Ronnie?
I don't know that
Ronnie.
I've ever been.
You mean Ronnie?
Ronnie
buddy.
and Rick, it's two
I've been
R's.
on-
2 R's.
By myself.
Arr. Yeah. Anyway, keep track of him as he goes around the whole globe. That's the entire Earth. If you didn't know.
Ronnie, last words, brother.
Just thanks for having me on. Thanks for having me on the show, guys.